Good morning. Today is Wednesday, October 30th, and we are now at the end of a very long 3-month live stream only experiment on the channel, and it's a big day, right? Because tomorrow's the Luigi's Mansion 3 stream, which I'm super excited about. Took the whole day off, so, tomorrow I'll be streaming that basically for like 6 to 10 hours. We'll see how long it ends up being, or how much I can stay awake to actually stream that game. I'll be picking up at, I think, 9 in the morning, probably getting a good breakfast or lunch type situation, and then streaming. Neo, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Thank you for coming out. So today is basically the last of the morning streams for the experiments purposes. I'm not saying like, no more morning streams, it's over. But, and that's the thing, I'm going to go through basically the pros and cons of the experience, how I felt about it personally, then go through some of the things that I learned from the analytics of doing this for 90 days. And then finally, we can talk a little bit about where to go from here, which I think will be fun. Nathan, hello, how are you? Meg says, fighting will reply when fight ends. What game are you playing where you're fighting? I thought you were playing something adorable and not... Oh, wait, you're playing Monster Hunter, aren't you? Sad to see this day, but excited to see what you've learned, liked, and not liked. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's, not necessarily a sad day. Dude, thank you so much for the super chat right out of the gate, man. I appreciate it immensely. Sending my love. You deserve it. I love you too, buddy. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate it. And I probably should have put that on the pros list, right? You can get super chats when you do live stream only. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the pros, cons, what I learned from the analytics, and then we can talk about where to go from here if, the morning stream is to continue. All the loves. Indeed, Beck. Indeed. So first up, one of the major pros is that, conversation is awesome, right? There's a great way to build community. I've enjoyed it immensely because it's a very two-way street. It's not asynchronous. So it's not like, putting out pre-produced video, which I love to do, and then kind of waiting for comments to roll in and then replying when I can reply to it. Rather, it's just a very real-time conversation. I've enjoyed it immensely, and that's been one of my favorite parts of this entire process, is that, to feed into this next point, it does help keep me on a regular schedule, right? I mean, it's very motivating to get up early and do these and talk with people who are also sort of excited to seize the day, as it were, or to just talk about, video game stuff or YouTube stuff. It's a really, really fun and motivating thing, and I've really enjoyed the process. And it also does provide sort of an early sense of accomplishment, right? For a lot of us, we do YouTube as a hobby. Some of us have greater aspirations for our channels like I do. But, that's one of the best parts about doing live first thing in the morning is, your day's barely started and you've already got a piece of content under your belt. You've already sort of, done something you can point to and be like, yeah, I accomplished something today within the realm of YouTube. And that's a very validating thing. It's something that, keeps you excited, keeps you going. 8-Bit, good morning. DJ says, it's nice to see a friendly face before a hard day of work. I would say the same. I mean, I don't really see your faces, but yeah, the same is true. And I appreciate you coming out for what is essentially the final morning of the live stream experiment. Not necessarily the final morning of the live streams, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but right now I'm just kind of going through some of the things I really liked about the process, some things I didn't like so much about the process, and then the analytics and kind of what they showed me. So, the other thing I liked about it is it's fast, right? It allows me to get up and get going. If I have a great idea, it's about a 2-minute process for me to get ready to go live, barring, something that's a little bit more in-depth, like creating a thumbnail or something like that. But it also does reflect my personal view that content value is greater than production value, right? And I say that as somebody who loves production value. I love having, just perfectly edited video that tells a very nice story, and it's got good lighting or good on-screen graphics, and it looks very prettied up, and all that. I like making good-looking video. No two ways about it. But I also feel like that could be really limiting, which again is one of the things that started this whole experiment, is that I felt like I was spending so much time focusing on getting, just these tiny production details perfect that I wasn't getting, useful content out at the rate that I wanted to. So then I just sort of put the pedal to the metal and was like, you know what? Almost no production value. We're just going to go straight into content value every single morning. Tribal, good morning. Lily, thank you for stopping by. Totally agree that content is more important. No, I started late, so you're actually, I just started like a minute and a half ago, Lily, so you're fine. So, that's something that I really like about the process, or the live stream format, I guess I should say, is that it did give me the opportunity to sort of stop sweating all the production details of that, and just get right into content, which is great. Whenever I had like tips or strategy or, something that happened that was relevant to gaming creators, like when we talked about Ninja moving to Mixer away from Twitch, and that's all been really, really fun. And just the speed is incredibly appealing because I'm somebody who likes to move fast anyways, right? Like as you may have noticed, I tend to speak very, very quickly, and I don't like long, slow, just lag periods, I guess. Although I do think there is merit to slowing down, and I try to give myself at least a day a week of some mental and emotional margin to kind of decompress, think about things like where the channel's going and stuff like that, and maybe not keep my head just firmly rooted within the chaos of YouTube. But yeah, the fact that it is a very fast format that you can get going very, very quickly is something that's definitely appealing to me. And the other thing that I like about this, for me personally, and this would not necessarily be true for other people, is that it is time over which I have complete control for the most part. And what I mean by that is, it's rare unless, like my allergies were bugging me the other day, or if I had the air conditioning guy coming to fix the AC, like in August, or if I have something that's work-related that gets in the way, which doesn't happen that often, happened a couple times, but not typically. But usually, like, so I'm somebody who, the way my job works is I'm on call once every 5 or 6 weeks, right? And then I'm on rollover, which can make it dicey to do live streams in the evening because somebody could call at any point. But that window for me of 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern, somebody's already covering at that point, so that is, a time during which that I can't get a call and get interrupted. So that's actually really helpful. It's actually a really good time slot for me to stick with, and if the morning streams are to continue, I'm probably going to go ahead and stick with the time we're on right now. People have sort of gotten accustomed to it, and I know it's not ideal, especially for the people on the West Coast, because, not a lot of people want to get up at 5 a.m. To watch this stream, and I do not blame you in the slightest. But for the purposes of what I'm actually able to do and make sure that it's able to remain relatively consistent, I would probably have to stick with the 8 a.m. time slot. So those are some of the things that I really liked about it. I mean, there's really just not enough good things I can say about it. But there are some cons, right? There are some things. And like, to start, the first of which is, yes, it's fast. Yes, you can get going quickly. But it's also sort of high pressure, right? And it's high pressure specifically for me within the realm of original content. Now, when I say original content, I mean like those videos that I do or the streams that I do where I'm like, hey, here are some tips to do things, or here, some productivity things to kind of help you on your way with your YouTube journey. Coming up with new ideas on a regular basis is really hard. It's not a reason not to do it. I'm just pointing out that it does take a lot of extra mental energy and exhaustion to try to keep coming up with new things to talk about. And the thing is, it's not so much that I can't come up with new ideas, and this is one of the other cons of the format, is that it doesn't, how do I put this? I'm trying to see how this is how I said it. It's sort of limiting for more advanced topics. And what I mean by that is it's not necessarily that it's hard for me to come up with ideas for new content. I mean, yeah, sometimes it can be stressful, or sometimes you feel like you hit a creative rut, but I think that happens to anybody in any creative pursuit. But what makes it kind of rough for the live stream format is because I can't necessarily do B-roll, the most I can do is sort of create a video and then do a narrative on top of it, but I can't really control exactly the narrative beats for it quite as well to the way that I would like, or I might not be able to do it in a way that makes sense. Means that it's not, to do more advanced topics like, oh, here's how to, set up your audio to be perfect, or here's how to, change the settings for streaming in your Elgato capture card. Like, those are things I could probably do live, but it probably wouldn't make for a very, bombastic and entertaining stream. Those kind of topics, a more technical deep dive into things of that nature, would probably be better suited for pre-produced video, right? Where I can sort of do B-roll cutaway, or I can do screen records and kind of show exactly what I'm referring to. So the format's not great for that, and I like making videos like that, and some people have asked me to make more videos within that realm, and it's not easy to do in the live format, and since I've been married to the live format for the past 3 months, kind of a gap there. So not the best. It's kind of high pressure, and then, it's not perfectly well suited to more, advanced topics in a lot of cases, unless I did a lot of pre-production. That's the other kind of con, is in some ways it could take more pre-production than an actual pre-produced video. And what I mean by that is, if you watch the Lootcast, the Game Looters are amazing people, and I would highly recommend you subscribe to them. But they do the Lootcast just about every Thursday. They're having me back tomorrow, which I'm super appreciative of. I'm super glad to be back on there. But they do such an amazing job with live production. And when I think about all the work that probably has to go into making sure all of that works, or whenever they can cut away to news pieces so that Mono can kind of deliver the news over the topic that we're going to be talking about, you could very easily get yourself in a place with live video where you're doing just as much work to try to make everything pretty and approachable as you do with a pre-produced video. Now, I only did that lightly. I did some background music, a light on-screen graphic, as you can see up here. I probably could have pushed it further, but the problem is, with the constant, pressure of doing live video every morning at 8 a.m., I didn't really have as much margin to kind of do those things, especially when I was doing game streams in the evening. Solid Nate, what's up, man? I've been had skills. Good morning. If they aren't there when it's live, they just feel they missed it. That's a good point. Like some people, that's another excellent con that I didn't even think about. Is some people will say, "I wish I could have watched this, but I missed the live stream," and that kind of takes away a little bit of the magic of the live format, right? You can watch it after the fact, but it's not nearly as interesting as if you're, able to engage in real time. Good point. Jake says, "Josh, I can't believe you made it to Halloween. What do you mean? You thought that I was not going to keep doing live stuff?" Oak says, "Okay, I got to get out for work early. Catch you all later on. Thanks for stopping by for a minute, Oak. Had to stop for the dawn." Sorry, I missed a couple of chats. That's another con, is it's not always to keep up with chat, right? And I don't even know how scalable this is going to be long term. Yeah, in terms of like real time response, right? It might be that, what ends up happening with the morning live stream is it is more of a me like delivering content with less conversation, but that's my favorite part, so that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it here in a minute. But another con that I would say is optimizing streams after the fact is kind of annoying. That would be true of pre-produced video as well, but I'm pushing these out at a much higher rate than I was pre-produced video, where I was only doing pre-produced maybe once or twice a week there for a number of months. That's a lot easier to stay on top of than when you're doing, like 5 a week, in the morning, and then you're also doing evening live streams, and then you're also trying to squeeze in like collaborative streams and stuff, like if I'm on like the Jillcast or if I'm on the Lootcast. So that that can definitely do a number on you. And that was the other one of the major cons personally, is it did kind of upend my normal morning routine. My normal morning routine was to get up, play Beat Saber, do some sort of exercise type thing. With this, I was way more interested in making sure that things were ready to go for the live stream, or that I had a good topic in place, than making last minute refinements. I didn't feel like the message was very strong, or if I didn't feel like I had a really great topic. And honestly, there were a few where, and this is another con I would say, some of the videos, some of the morning streams were not great from an initial content perspective. Like, the conversation may have been great. The back and forth hanging out with you guys is always a treat. But at the same time, I feel like I kind of phoned it in, or I didn't have the best content on some of them. And one of the points that the game leaders made when they commented on one of these streams a few days ago, when we kind of briefly touched on what the future of the morning live streams was going to be, was they were like, we like the tips and everything, but you maybe only do those once or twice a week, and then just do more video game or fun stuff the other time, so you don't get burnt out. And I don't really feel like I personally would get burnt out just doing helpful content. I love doing it, but at the same time, there is a lot of pressure there if I'm just like, oh, I'm going to make not necessarily 365 days a year, but certainly 5 days a week only helpful content. Like, some people can do that. I don't know if I'm up to the task. I know I'm willing to try, because that's kind of what I structure my channel and brand around, but it's something else that can be kind of rough. What other cons did I have? It does set an expectation, right? Like, I think that some of you who have been willing to come out here, at 8 a.m. just about every morning, if I just dropped it, that would be kind of crappy if you enjoyed it. I mean, if you hate it, you're probably like, yeah, just, get off the stage. But, for those of you that have been enjoying it, or you do like the conversation, or like the early morning, like, kind of encouragement session where we talk about YouTube and video games and stuff, that might be kind of a bummer if I just out of nowhere was like, nope, I'm peacing out. So to that end, I don't think that I will. But we'll get to that in a second. So those are some of the cons that kind of came with it. Let's see. I think that's everything. Yeah, those are most of the cons. From an analytics standpoint, it was pretty, so at the macro level, now we're just talking about like the impact that I had on my channel. First up, I would say the biggest takeaway is, no, if you decide to jump into live stream only, it does not completely destroy your channel. If anything, I would say it strengthens it in a variety of arenas, which I'll talk about some of the more nuanced analytics there. But ultimately, my concern was, I'd heard a lot of people say like, oh, if you do live streaming only, you don't get views anymore, and YouTube doesn't like what you do, and all this stuff. And I would say there's maybe a little bit of truth to that, but I would say it's absolutely not true based on my anecdotal experiment here, that just going live streaming only tanks your channel. It doesn't tank your channel. My channel's still doing great. In fact, the analytics have started to fare better in some areas, less in some, but we'll go ahead and get to that now. One of the things that I noticed about doing live streaming only is you don't get a lot of ongoing views, even for stuff that I really optimized for search, like when I did the Ninja Move into Mixer stream, like way early on in this experiment. Like, it got some views after the fact, but from what I can tell, it doesn't look like the algorithm really surfaces live streams the same way it does pre-produced content. And that makes sense, right? Probably for the reasons that we've already talked about when you mentioned Solid Nate, that, there's not going to be... Or some people are like, hey, I missed the live stream, it's kind of a bummer to watch it after the fact. I'm guessing that that's probably true at scale, and YouTube knows this, so I'm guessing that live streams typically do not get surfaced in search the same way pre-produced video does, which tends to be punchier, have a better point, and not usually be a long, rambling affair, depending on the creator you are, I guess. So that's one of the things that I noticed, is you don't get a ton of ongoing views with the live videos that you put out. One thing I did notice, though, which perhaps is more important, is that average watch time made a significant jump. I went from about 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes, and it jumped up to about 5.5 minutes on average. So, generally people were watching content for longer, which honestly is a more important metric in a lot of cases than just the raw number of views. Sometimes a view gets counted, but someone may only watch your video for 10, 15 seconds, then they peace out, didn't really resonate with them. But, view duration is definitely a better look at, how your content's performing, or, if people are actually invested in it. And that's crazy. Like, even for some of these videos, some people were sticking around for 13, 14 minutes, which, is really good if you're doing a 30 or 40 minute stream every morning, which is kind of what I've been doing. Next thing that I noticed was, like I already mentioned, videos don't seem to rank in search quite as well. Like, you can optimize it, but it doesn't seem to me like whenever if I did a pre-produced video on a specific topic and it was well optimized for, title, tags, description and all that stuff, and had a solid thumbnail, those things, when I went back and tried to search, in a blind search, like, what I mean by that is I'm not logged in, there's none of my cache data that's kind of influencing the search results, that stuff seemed to be a lot easier to find, either on the first or second page if I did a good job with it. But even stuff that I'd well optimized within a very particular topic, like the Ninja Mixer thing, would not necessarily come up in the results the same. Now, that might not be the best example because tons of people were covering the Ninja Mixer thing, but I tried it with a few others as well, and it just seems like live stuff doesn't tend to get returned in search as easily. What I will say, though, is that engagement went through the roof because YouTube treats every single time you type something in chat essentially as a comment. So in that way, engagement was up significantly. And one of the things I didn't like, this isn't really analytics, but something that I noticed, is it does kind of mess up your feed a little bit. So for me, where I used to have, a very clean video feed where it would have a ton of stuff that was like, oh, like, here's how to capture clips from your Xbox One, or hey, here's some ways that you can edit video game footage more effectively. Now there's just like a massive stream of these morning streams, which is, fine. It's not unrecoverable or anything, but it is something that I'm cognizant of, right? Because first impressions are very important. When people go to your channel, one of the first things they do is they go to your videos to kind of get a snapshot view of what you're all about. So right now, if people go and get a snapshot view of what I'm all about, they're going to assume this dude only does live streams in the morning, which has kind of been true, save for a few video game streams that I do in the evenings. So it did make me think a little bit about how, the feed gets presented, right? Like your videos on offer, that snapshot of all the thumbnails as they stack up on that wall of videos you have on your channel, that does speak to people. So in that regard, I'm very happy to get back to pre-produced videos so I can start to mix it up a little bit more so it's not purely the morning live stream, even though I've enjoyed it, and I know a lot of you have enjoyed it. Newcomers might be kind of put off by it. They're just like, why would I watch this person in the morning? I have no idea who YourPlayerTwo is. So yeah, those were just some of the observations, things I liked, things I didn't, and then some of the analytics that I gleaned from it. Long story short, it won't tank your channel if you decide to go live streaming only, and you will see an increase in some metrics and probably a reduction in others, right? You're not going to get surfaced in search as much as far as I can tell, but the people who do watch your stuff will tend to engage with it more. You'll get an increased watch time or average view duration, which is very important to Google and the algorithm. So yeah, those are some things to to take away from this 90-day experiment, I guess. Let me go back to the chat real quick. No, I thought Mara was gonna kill you by now. It's a possibility. Mara is an evil lady sometimes. You should have a poll on what days you should do streams and what days you should do videos. That's something I've been thinking about, although I think I'm going to be doing 2 pre-produced videos a week moving forward. My goal is I want to get 100 really great videos out in 2020. So I'm sort of building up to that right now here at the end of 2019. Nia says, I guess what we want to know is, will the stream still be Monday to Friday? And that's the thing, I'm not going to commit to that on this stream. What I will say is they're going to continue in some fashion, just because I really enjoy them, a lot of you seem to enjoy them, but I know I also have to take, a very personal look at what I'm capable of and the things that I want to get done on the channel, and make sure I'm leaving myself enough, sanity margin so that I can, get everything done that I need to. Now, I will say that they're going to continue in some regard, but I kind of want to hash that out, and actually, that's a good segue, Neo. For right now, the 3 things I'm trying to figure out are the topics that you like to talk about most. Is that YouTube stuff? Is it YouTube productivity things? Is it raw video game stuff? Like, should we try out video game news? Or is it that you don't even really like the topics of the morning that much? Or is it just more that you like a chill stream? Do you just like, chatting about one particular topic, maybe not front-loaded with, like, tips and tricks and save all that stuff for a pre-produced video? That's the kind of feedback that I'm looking for today, is to kind of figure out what you like the most. Why do you come back at, 8 a.m. to watch this every day? And what can I do to make sure that you keep coming back to watch? Because if you enjoy it, I want to do more of the things that you enjoy, obviously. But, it's always a balance, right? I think it's a good thing to consider, like, yes, let's make stuff that people are going to enjoy watching, but then also, yes, let's make stuff that we enjoy making, because if not, then it can become like a horrible grind and you feel sort of chained to it, and that's not a position that I want to be in. I haven't felt that way. Like, there were a couple of days where I was tired, and I probably didn't bring my A game to the morning stream, but usually that's because I stayed up really late the night before. Usually it's not, reflective of my enjoyment of the process. I love it. But, I do think it's important to figure out what that balance is to make sure that I'm not going to waver too far one way or the other. If I go too far into the stuff that only I love, then it might be that I'm completely betraying you as the viewer. If I go too far to stuff that only you love, I may become, a dancing monkey of sorts and be doing stuff that I don't necessarily love doing every day. So if you're just like, talk about your Pog collection from the 90s every day forever, I don't know if I could do it for like a week. Maybe. I did used to like Pogs a lot. NX, good morning. 2 + 2 = 6. What's so hard to understand? I know, right? All this is so delightfully simple. Adrian, good morning. Trump says you should do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You should do videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and videos Tuesdays and Thursdays, so this way you have time to yourself. You mean do streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Because I was thinking about doing that. Live streams Monday, Wednesday. That's probably like the close second for what I'm considering. Like my initial thought is we keep going Monday through Friday, right? I think it is possible for me to maintain that. I mean, I did it for 90 days. That wasn't the worst thing in the world. It does create pressure, right? Because that means on my weekends I have to be like, okay, what's going to happen for the next 5 days? Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a possibility, because I feel like that still keeps it fairly even and consistent, and then pre-produced stuff would release at 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But the thing I don't like is I don't know if I necessarily want the gap, right? I think, people like the consistency of it happening every weekday. I kind of like the consistency of it happening every weekday. It's just, there's a fear aspect there for me, because I'm like, what if I have a bad day, or, what if I feel burnt, what am I going to let people down? But then it kind of goes back to me just having more faith in you guys, right? And ultimately, even when I've had to miss a day here and there so far, nobody's gotten out the pitchforks and hunted me down or anything, so that's encouraging. Elise says, what I think you could do for a topic is the day before create a poll, have a few options, then also have an option for other people, and people can comment their idea below, and an option for a chill stream. That's an idea. I'll go ahead and screenshot that, Lily. NX, where am I at? It helps my stress go away, this live stream. It kind of helps with my stress too, if I'm being honest. And he says, well, I only came when you started this, so it's hard to say. Yeah, and then that's the thing, like, there's still unknowns, right? Despite the fact that I have done this for, basically 3 months, most weekday mornings, there's still a lot of unknowns to me, so I'm hoping we can hash through some of it in the next, 20 or 25 minutes or so before I have to go to work. I'm doing good, Adrian. You inspired me to get a coconut Red Bull this morning. You're on break at work right now? We will only take out the pitchforks when you're sad, then we shall come after you and chill. Yeah, I'll never let you guys know if I get, super sad, because I try to bring my A game, right? And I do what the doctors do, stuff those negative feelings down deep inside where no one can. I'm kidding, that's terrible advice, don't do it. But I like to joke about it, because, humor's a great way to abate anxiety, I think. Do not go for the pitchforks. I imagine you have some handy, being somebody who has an eye towards equestrianism. So I saw how much Red Bull you bought, man. You bought like their entire stock. Shift is 6 to 2:30. Man, that's brutal, NX. I will say either way, I like what you do, but it'd be very difficult to see 20 or 30 minutes video rather than a live stream. Wait, what do you mean? Well, no. I mean, like, my pre-produced stuff is not going to be like necessarily like purely displacing. I'm still going to be live streaming a lot, no matter which way you cut it. But, and if you've watched any of my older pre-produced videos, they never go to 20 or 30 minutes. Those are like 7 to 15 minutes tops, and even 15, that's an extreme for me. Most of my videos will be between 7 and 10 minutes long, usually closer to 7. I like to provide punchy, quick information, even though I don't know if that pleases the algorithm. They want you to watch for longer, but I try to be respectful of people's time. If I say I'm going to deliver something, I like to do it fairly quickly and not give you a bunch of fluff to sift through and things like that. So, Travis says, dark humor, that's my boy! Absolutely. I am a fan of dark humor. I just can't always let it shine here because, again, I like to be Mr. Rogers in this format, right? Approachable content, family-friendly, for anybody, so nobody's put off by it. I mean, that's helpful for me, obviously, as a creator, because that means more people watch. It's helpful from an algorithmic standpoint because Google's not going to ding me for, being a potty mouth on stream every day. but then also, it's more in alignment with my goals, right? I want to inspire and help as many people as I can who are like, man, I want to take the leap to making, YouTube content. I love video games, but maybe they're afraid of it. Maybe they don't have the confidence for it. Maybe they're worried people will, or they'll just get trolled into oblivion and whatever it is. That's really how I measure my success, is by how many people I get who regularly hit me up like, hey, what do you think I should do here? Hey, would you mind looking at my channel? I appreciate that the analytics have increased, and that was the other thing that I noticed through this process is we had an amazing past couple of months where subscribers shot up significantly, and now we're racing towards 8,000 subscribers, which is great. But again, my numbers have always been inflated, and the cause for the increase was not like a bunch of people found the morning live stream like, oh yeah, this dude's crushing it in the mornings. No, just randomly, my Beat Saber videos started doing very, very well, and they started getting thousands more views than I thought they would. And that in turn brought in a bunch of subscribers, a lot of people who are excited about that. So that has also somewhat driven my affinity for Ring Fit Adventure, because I think it's a natural segue from Beat Saber. That's what I do with my negative feelings, though. Yeah, that's not... Talk about them to somebody. You gotta be kidding me, Lily. Lily says, never had Red Bull, never get a Red Bull, because if you start to love it, they're like $3 a pop. Is that including gameplay videos? What, you mean like the evening live streams? Is that what you mean? Or am I going to be doing pre-produced like gameplay videos, like Let's Plays or something? Lily, have a Red Bull, do it. No, Neo. I do love these morning live streams, Josh. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate that, man. So you found the channel through the Beat Saber videos. See, and again, I think that's one of the things where, and I think that's another con of the process is this format speaks directly to you, the people who are already subscribers, who already enjoy what I do here. You like hanging out. A lot of people who I've become friends with over the course of being a YouTuber in the past 18-ish months, I guess. But what it doesn't do necessarily, it doesn't really speak to new people. So one of the things I realized I had to roll into my strategy, whatever we do moving forward with the morning live streams, is that I have to have content that speaks to them too. Because if I, aside from just optimizing for search, if I don't have videos that really speak to people who are looking for relevant information within the realm of like YouTube content creation for gamers, and then secondarily, I guess just for people who are gamers, because that tends to bring people in as well, that puts me in kind of a bad spot for future growth. And I want to grow on this channel. I definitely want to get that silver play button someday. It's just not. I very much mean it when I say someday. I'm not saying that I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll worry about it, I don't need to put any strategy in place. What I'm saying is I'm not so focused on the numbers that it bombs up my day if I'm just like, oh, we only got 200 subscribers this month or something like that. I'm just happy to make stuff that people appreciate, that you appreciate, and things that I enjoy making, right? That's the real fulfillment for me, and trying to help as many people as I can, again. And if I've started branching out, we'll start doing film reviews on my channel starting tomorrow, so I'm excited for that. What's the first film review you will do, Nathan? I stayed for you and your personality and this amazing community. Yes, there are amazing people here, and I could not be more blessed in that regard. I did post a thumbnail for it on Twitter. Would love to hear what you think. I will check it out. I mean, to talk about my feelings sometimes. Well, it's not always easy to talk about your feelings. I can relate, but, find some outlet, right? If you chat anonymously to somebody online. Tech, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Just over this experiment, all of your helpful videos alone, feel like I've grown as a content creator, so thank you. Thank you for checking them out, man. I'm glad you got something good out of them. And that is some of the most validating feedback that I get, or the things that make me the happiest, I guess, is when I see somebody say, hey, I started a channel because of you, or I got back to my channel because of you, or something you said, made me feel better, or, I was having a crappy day and it kind of turned things around. That's the stuff that I love to get more than anything. I value all feedback, especially the negative feedback. And when I say negative, I don't mean trolls. Like, trolls are inevitable, we're all going to get them, but what I'm talking about are people who are like, you could have done better here, or I wish you had done this, or you kind of messed up your editing here. I like that stuff too. That stuff makes me better. I think again, I think it's about the middle ground, which I'm big on the middle ground. That is, don't let your highs get too high, let your lows get too low. So it's like, you don't hear the boos or the cheers, just be somewhere in the middle. Mechanical Dragon says, eat your feelings, they might be tasty. Itchy, Stacy. I need to learn how to edit vids. I mean, you can edit video on your phone. I thought about doing that. Now, I do know, actually, I will say this. So even though this experiment is ending, a new experiment for 90 days starts next week. And I'll go ahead and tell you guys now what the new experiment is. One of the things that I kind of been having trouble with was like, ooh, what kind of video game videos do I need to make, right? Because there are so many options. Like, I could do vlogs, I could do gameplay videos, I could do reviews, I could do just commentary on news. I mean, there are a lot of different types of content you can make around video games, right? Just saying you're a gaming YouTuber isn't enough, because there's a billion formats and niches and things that you can explore. It's just as varied and complex as any other niche. But one of the things I'm going to try as an experiment, though, which I think for the next 90 days, or at least through the end of the year, I may halt it at the new year, just so I have like a good jumping off point for quarterly experiments moving forward. But I'm going to make video game content really without regard to trends or without regard to strategy. Like, I'll have some strategy. I'm not going to not optimize for search or things like that, but I'm going to be driven almost 100% by like personal enjoyment and passion, and kind of see what comes out and see how people respond to it. I've always said that I think you do your best work when you're relaxed, when you love what you're doing. So I'm going to try to take that to the nth degree and just be like, what's something kind of cool that I think I like, that I would watch, and I'm going to put it out there. Now, I'm still going to do the morning streams where I can still talk about like helpful content and everything, and I'll still be making helpful pre-produced videos periodically where I see an opportunity to do so. But the bulk of what I'm going to be doing, all the video game content anyways, live stream, I mean, assume that live streams of both sorts will keep out. I'm still going to do gaming live streams, like multiplayer streams and stuff like that. I'm still going to be doing the morning streams to some degree, which we'll hopefully figure out over the next few days. But all the video game content, like if I'm doing a pre-produced video where it's just something about video games, whether that's like a top 5 list or it's a cool video game accessory that I like, I'm just going to let it be 100% driven by my own enjoyment and the things that excite me, and just kind of see what comes out and see how people respond to it. You know, not a complete audience betrayal. I'm just going to see what happens if I tweak my mindset around my content, where it's not like, okay, if I'm going to make a video, I have to think strategically about what makes the most sense for the marketplace, but rather I'm going to let what drives it be like, ooh, you know what, I have had a great time playing The Witcher lately. I am going to make a video about how much I love The Witcher, but also the 10 things that I have a problem with The Witcher, which, that's a real video that I'm actually kicking around. I just want to see you tackle a game from start to finish on camera. The best way you can see that will be Storytime Sundays now. That fun thing that I'm going to try to engage with. I'm just going to be playing The Witcher 3 for the next, well, until we beat it, right? That's going to happen on Sunday night. So that will be the game that you get to see, Neo. Would you ever consider top 10s or countdowns? Absolutely. I love the list format. The list format is so completely effective. It's been effective for years, not just on the internet, but also in print media. And I love doing it because for me, as someone who thinks very logically and structured and strategically and you know, kind of high level, I love lists. So you can almost guarantee some of those are going to be coming out. Opinion pieces seem to do well for me in the past when it came to game videos. And that's the thing, like, I don't mind doing opinion pieces, I don't necessarily want to do opinion pieces that are just, like, inflammatory for the sake of it. I think a lot of people like to be, like, you know, put out videos that are sensational, like, what? This gaming company's dead? Like, I don't want... To me, that almost evolves into self-parody, or maybe I just feel like I don't have the personality for it. Although, if you caught me on the chill stream, I can get sort of animated in my opinions there. But yeah, I think that, you know, doing some more opinion-based videos would be a fun thing, right? I'm just not out to do sensational ones, I guess. I've done a little bit on my phone, mostly just adding music, YourPlayerTwo. What are you using to edit on? Are you using iMovie? Because I think iMovie is pretty full-featured for what it is for the phone. No worries, Rom. You know, I was a little bit late this morning myself. I've done a little bit... Wait, where am I at? A full game with YP2, that would be amazing. You're going to get The Witcher 3 almost in its entirety. Make video game conspiracy videos, that's an idea. You know, one of the things, like, based on what I've seen Fabian do, Gamer Thumb TV, I have liked the idea of trying a format where I do much longer form, but with 100% not really me on camera footage at all, but it's just voiceover work and only using B-roll, things like, you know, screenshots with Ken Burns or video, or, you know, gameplay footage. Maybe not conspiracy, but I do like the idea of toying with a longer format. He does a lot of, like, history of videos, which I think are amazing. Personally, I don't think I would find that very enjoyable. I think I would get really just bored with all the research that has to go into that for technical accuracy. Plus, you're just putting a target on your back, and Fabian's had all kinds of commenters who were like, actually, you got this wrong at 37 seconds, and, you know, I think that would probably annoy me, but we'll see. I mean, there are other formats that I could play with, and I'm excited about, like, the creative, I don't know, I guess, freedom that will give me to kind of just let the things I'm personally enjoying in gaming kind of drive videos for the next 3 months to see what happens. I'm not going to do, you know, no helpful content, because that, you know, my brain is built around trying to be helpful, but we'll see how it goes. And now the end is near, and so I face the final stream. Not the final stream, shaboinky boink. Just the final stream of the experiment. The streams themselves almost necessarily have to continue. And playlists, yes, I need to organize my playlists in a huge way. Hey, is that gamer group you're in accepting new members? What gamer group are you referring to? That I am not sure about. Saying that reminded me, I've still got a top 5 list to work on. Well, if you'd like to share details, feel free to, but you don't, don't feel compelled to spoil anything. I lost, so I came back. Welcome back. Tell me what you think about the morning live streams. Any feedback that you have? Actually, right now, just, without even thinking about it, just if anybody has any feedback of the morning streams, whether it's like, hey, I like the frequency, I don't like the frequency, I like when you do it, don't like when you do it, I like when you talk about this, but not when you talk about that. I would love to hear, like, that's really what I'm looking for here in about the next 10 minutes, because what I'm going to do essentially from here is tomorrow's going to be the Luigi live stream, right? So we're not going to do this morning stream tomorrow. I'm going to sleep in a little bit. It's going to be great. I'm off work tomorrow. And then around noon, we'll start the Luigi stream for just about all day. I said 10 hours. It might be closer to 6. We'll see how my energy levels are. But ultimately, I'm going to take the next 4 or 5 days through Sunday to kind of decompress a little bit and kind of think about what I've learned through this process, take a bunch of your feedback into account, and kind of figure out, what does it look like moving forward. Off the top of my head, I can already tell you, it's almost certainly going to be at least 3 days a week, if not the full 5 the way we have been. It's going to stay at 8 a.m. because that's the best window that I have to create content. In terms of what that content's actually going to be, that's kind of the biggest area that I'm struggling with, right? Do we just do like chill streams where it's like we pick a single topic maybe from the news and then we just hash it out and talk about it and hang out in the mornings? Is it where we kind of ping pong back and forth where it's like, okay, let's do tips on Monday, fun stuff Tuesday, tips on Wednesday, fun stuff Thursday, and do something like that. There's a lot of variables to consider there. So anything you got, I'm happy to hear it. Josh, remember the thing we were considering for my birthday? I do. I'm still considering it. Back to work. I'll talk to you later. NX, you take care, man. The chill stream. On the Chillcast? So if you're talking about if they're accepting regular members, I think that's something that sort of happens after you've been added. You would have to talk to Avedon about it. I mean, that's kind of his show. Like, I'm just blessed enough to exist in it. I think it's one of the things that, like, where, if you get guested on there and you're consistently reliable and you've got interesting insights to add, or you bring value to the show, then I think that's kind of how you become part of the Chillcast. I didn't, like, when I was on the Chillcast initially, I think it was just a guest appearance, and then I think it was a week or two later, Avedon needed to fill a slot again, and I was like, yeah, I can do it, and then over time, I just sort of became part of the, the Chillcast over there. So I don't think they've got, like, a fully outlined process or anything. I think it's a very organic thing. Got bored at a station, not giving away much on it, although hoping to get a collab video done tonight. Very cool thing. You keep your secrets, Tech. I can respect the hustle. Sony is glitchy, so I cannot do it. No worries, man. We can hang out some other time. Josh, if you need to take a day off from the stream, you can. I appreciate that. Honestly, it's really nice to have somebody who is watching to kind of give me permission to do that. Like, theoretically, I know, like, I could be like, I don't need your permission. I won't stream for months. But it is kind of nice, like, when you're committed to something and, you want to make great content, you want to, try to make great content, I guess, and put stuff out on a regular basis for people, having people, be compassionate enough or understanding enough to be like, hey, maybe you should take a break. You're looking a little tired, and, know that you're not going to get, raked over the coals for it. That's an encouraging thing. Nathan says, these live streams really make me look back as a creator, the way I hold myself as a personality. Your one about being a robot had a massive impact on me, and that is why I'm getting back on camera. I'm so glad to hear that. That's great. Absolutely great, dude. And again, I mean, that's the feedback that I really appreciate. Like, no, because even when I made that video, Nathan, I was like, is this really good? Like, is this something I should put out there? And that's one of the things that I kind of have to remind myself of, because it's so easy to fall into that trap where you're like, what if I make this video and nobody loves it? But the truth is, and I sent out a tweet that kind of talked about this like weeks ago, but if you make a video, if you send out a tweet, if you do a Facebook update, if you do an Instagram post, whatever it is, whatever arena you're playing in right now, you don't have to reach the entire world. You don't have to reach 1 million people. And I think there's this mentality that, oh, the only people that are making an impact are the people who have 1 million subscribers, the people with 500,000 subscribers. If you can singularly make something that's kind of great, or it speaks to somebody, you only really have to reach one person, at which point you're undeniably a success. It's just not as visible as the people who have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That's how they get there. I'll tell you what, Roberto Blake did a video yesterday, I think, talking about a challenge, which I would love to put out a challenge like this at the beginning of 2020, to make 100 crappy videos. And what he did was he showed early videos from creators like PewDiePie and Marquis Brownlee, or Marquez, I think I said that wrong. but essentially showing some of their earliest work and how horrible it looked visually. And I had videos like that where, I didn't understand the difference between, like, stuff that was, what is it, daylight balanced versus, I can't remember what the other term is. Anyway, like warmer light versus cooler light. I'll just say that generically. And, I have a ton of videos that were just absolutely garbage. And I don't look back on those and I'm like, oh man, that's a failure because it was garbage. No, that was like putting the building blocks in place that would eventually lead me to the place where I could create more quality work. And the odds are good. 5 years from now, I'm going to look back on this video. I'm going to look back on some of the stuff I've already put out. Even stuff I could look back from just like a year ago and I'm like, oof, that was rough. You could have fixed some things here and here, but that's what it is. It's a journey of continual improvement, and if you can focus on how much you love that process and not just how many likes you get, how many followers you get, I think you're going to be in a much better position. I have a suggestion for your thumbnails of The Witcher if you're going for a playthrough. Yes, I'm listening, Neo. I should draw something for when you reach 10K. I don't know when that could be. I could reach 10K in a couple of months. It might take me, 5 years to reach 10K. I have no idea what's going to happen, Lily, but, I would absolutely be delighted by it. We still need to do that PSP collaboration. We do have to do that PSP collaboration. That's a video. Let's get that on the schedule because that would be completely in line with things that I just love the idea of doing. Do you want? Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let's talk soon. Let's get on a call, Adrian. Good morning, Brian. How are you today? Well, I can give away a little bit of tomorrow's. Ooh. So it is going to be spooky, and perhaps appropriately so. Tomorrow is Halloween, and I have to figure out if I'm going to dress up for that Luigi's Mansion stream. My first instinct is to dress up as Luigi, but sadly I went to GameStop and thought they might have a Luigi hat. They had tons of Mario hats, no Luigi hats. So, but I think it would be funny too if I had like a fake mustache over the real mustache, which honestly would probably be a bit of an improvement. But if I can make that work, I might. But at the very least, we will be streaming a lot of Luigi's Mansion 3 tomorrow. Yes, Lily, draw him as a Sith. Do not draw me as a Sith. Actually, it might be kind of cool. Maybe that would pull me to the dark side. It's important to take breaks, so this way you're not pooped out, but I must leave. School is coming, and your residential psycho is signing off. Love you all. Nothing but love, Tribal. Enjoy your school today. Thank you for always being such a contributor to the chat. I appreciate it. I was thinking about the name of my early videos. Oh, God, I know, right? It's so hard to go back and look at your older stuff. I mean, it could be an imprint. Wait, did Bank say something further back? Lilypad, hi. Honestly, your morning live stream is basically my 11 p.m. stream, so you are able to watch at 11 p.m., so that's encouraging. Where am I at? I will hit you up, Adrian. As I've mentioned in the past, about 3 people have come to me for identity and LGBT advice. After a lot of therapy, I found out I want a legacy, and I will devote to helping people be happy. That is a noble goal. There's a huge shortage of happiness. There are a lot of people who are chasing success, but not happiness. And, I mean, I think there's, again, probably a good balance there. But there are people out there who are outrageously successful millionaires, and they're miserable every day of their lives. On the flip side, there are people out there who are super happy every day, and if I had to pick between the two, I would probably pick happy, but there's probably a middle ground there. Yes, YouTubers Anonymous streams. It's a group where YouTubers gather and discuss their problems. You're saying that's what this should be? Because this is not. I mean, it's kind of anonymous. I guess if you created dummy accounts. Lily says Charmander onesie, Josh. I mean, wouldn't that be more appropriate for a Pokemon stream? Like when Shield comes out? I feel like I want to save that one if I'm going to do it. I do have the Charmander onesie. Nia says, put the number on there on episode. Yeah, I did think about that. I'm probably going to modify the thumbnail for The Witcher so people can watch that in series as a long playlist of us continuing the story. So that's definitely something that I was thinking about. Good morning, Quicksand. How goes it, dude? Oh, did Tribal take off? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just said bye to Tribal. My videos used to be orange, ditto the lighting. So, yeah, like mine were super orange. And I'm already like a little bit, like, I have a very red orangey palette anyways as a ginger, right? Especially if I go out in the sun, I don't tan, I just burn. So it was not a good look. I had one that was blue back in the days when I recorded with an Android tablet. Wait, you had one, what, that was blue? A Charmander onesie? That doesn't make any sense. I will try to share my progress with you, Neo. Do it for both. I was a horrible child. Don't worry, you grow out of it, hopefully. Yeah. I wasn't like a demon child or anything, but I was a precocious kid. Very argumentative. The people demand Charmander, maybe for the Pokemon stream. If I'm dressed up as anything tomorrow, it's going to be Luigi. Oh, lighting. Okay, I gotcha. I went through my blue phase too. Yeah, I have certain videos where everything was kind of like right now, like because it's the morning, I tend to put the orange glow back here instead of like I usually do purple and pinks at nights, and then for the morning it's like a sunrise. See, it's subtle, a little bit of production here. And then usually I have like there is a studio light over here. It's actually a ring light, but I don't put it straight on my face because I feel like it would almost be too bright. But I kind of bounce it off the wall behind the desk here to give me a little bit of lighting, but not so it's overbearing. I don't want to look like horribly overexposed. Yes, Ellie, let's see. Joss is said, yep, fun times they were. Work time. Adios, everyone. DJ Dust Bunny, thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your work day. But right now, I have to take off because it's time for the day job. To wrap this whole thing up, morning streams are going to continue. I'm going to use the next 4 days, basically through Sunday, to decompress and kind of think about what that is. If you have further feedback, please hit me up on Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in the chat here. If you're somebody who's fairly new, that is the best way to get a hold of me when we're not hanging out together on stream. Like, shoot me a DM. Happy to talk with you. My email is in the About section of the channel. But if you have any feedback that you think of later on, or something that you'd like to see, or topics that you particularly enjoy talking about, would love to have that feedback. Because topics is where I'm really having the most struggle. Like, format and timing isn't the biggest struggle right now. The biggest struggle is like, what do we talk about? Is it just conversational? Is it tips and tricks? Is it we just pick a single topic? Do we try the news thing? That's what I'm struggling with the most. So if you have any further feedback, I super need it. Super welcome that. Please enjoy the rest of your day. As always, thank you so much for starting yours out with me. You could go anywhere on the internet you wanted to today, but you chose to be here, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna go ahead and take off and get to work now, but I'll see you tomorrow for the Luigi stream for sure. And then tonight, multiplayer stream or just a spooky medieval stream. I'm going to put 3 options up: Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, keep it multiplayer firmly rooted within the realm of spooky. And then, just because we are one day before Halloween and we're running out of time to do spooky stuff, if people want to see medieval, I'm willing to, basically cancel the multiplayer piece of it. If people vote for it, if that's what they want, we'll just play some medieval tonight. So, alright, that being said, I gotta go to work. Have a great day, and thanks again. Alright, bye.